loop, I guess. All right, so we're going to start, and we'll get back to September 22nd at some point. This is Jeff. This is Jeff Tom. I'm chair of the RT Mobility Advisory Council, and calling to order the meeting of Thursday, August 21st. And we will start with MAC members, and we'll go around to my left.
Charles Johnson, member at large, representing the elderly and vice chair of the MAC.
Ellen O'Connell, chair of the TCMP committee. And I'm still looking for interesting topics for my committee. So if you have any, let me know.
Melissa Backrack, vice chair of the TCMP committee.
And then Jean?
No.
Oh, Joe's next. Okay.
Because it's Chair Joseph Wilson, because it's vice chair of the CAI subcommittee.
And then Eugene.
Gene Lozano, chair of the Access and Infrastructure Subcommittee, and I'm a member at large representing the interests of people with vision disabilities. Thank you.
Okay. And now on Zoom. And let's start with Frank.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Frank Trio. I'm a member of the River City chapter of the National Federation of the Blind of California.
And we are thrilled to have you back amongst us. So glad you're here.
Thank you very much. I've been told now, within 1 month left, since I no longer have a left leg and left foot, I'm going to get a prosthetic within a month, and I'll be able to start walking again.
And we will anticipate your arrival. So that's great.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Jeff. I really appreciate it.
All right. Any other MAC members? Do we have Pam or anyone else on Zoom?
Pam Floor, member at large, representing seniors.
All right. Thank you.
Good afternoon, German Aon. I'm with Agency on Aging Area 4, and I'm also a part of the TCMP committee.
Great. Okay. We have, we'll now go to introduction of staff, and let's start on Zoom this time for staff. You want to help with that, Priscilla, or whoever? Austin.
Any soccer team staff on Zoom?
No? Yeah, that's what I thought I heard first. Any RT staff on Zoom?
Good afternoon. Jenny Nilo, Principal Civil Engineer with Regional Transit.
Great. Thanks, Jenny. Anyone else?
No.
Okay.
And I'll
Now we'll go in the room. We'll start with Priscilla.
yeah, Priscilla Vargas, staff liaison for the MAC and ADA compliance officer for SAC-RT.
Jamie Polcanavery, Director of Customer Satisfaction.
Holly Martinez, Customer Advocacy Supervisor.
Wilson Griner, Accessible Services Administrative Assistant.
Rowan Brandt, Assistant Planner.
George Kirbyson, Director of Library Maintenance.
Vince Beatty, AVP of Operations.
Blanca Araujo, BP Operations, and we do have Bus Transportation Superintendent online. She couldn't get unmuted, Clarissa Van Wagner.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Janetta Burnett, Director of Rail Operations.
Alberta Deanda, Superintendent, SAC-RT.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, do we have any members of the public in the room?
There's a lady in the back.
Julie. And Austin, can you mention the gal or member that's getting sign language interpreting? Because she's on, right?
Yeah. Also recognizing MAC member Diane Olafson on Zoom.
Oh, great. Glad you're here, Diane. Sorry we missed you briefly there. Okay, so we're now on members of the public on Zoom.
Hello, Regina Brink with the ACB Capital Chapter of the California Council of the Blind. I sit on the board of directors.
Okay.
Anyone else? Austin?
Other than Jeff,
And
want to
Jeff-
announce yourself?
Yeah, Jeff Turdigue is here with a lot of throat issues, among other things.
All right. Well, thank you. We really appreciate you being here. Okay. So we will now take up our next item, which is approval of the July 17th, 2025 minutes. Do we have a motion?
Jane so moves for the approval of the July meeting minutes.
Do we have a second?
Second, Pam.
Okay. Are there any deletions, additions, subtractions, multiplications, whatever? Any other discussion? Let's start. Any discussion first on Zoom? I don't hear any. So anybody in the room for discussion? Okay. All those in favor of the motion to approve the minutes say aye.
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 All opposed? Abstentions?
This is German. I abstain. I was not at the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that motion is carried. Now we are on public comment on items not on the agenda. So, anybody in the room first? No. Nothing. So, anybody on Zoom?
Well, as I, before the meeting started, asked about questions that you put in there that you can Q&A. What is the purpose of the MAC? What is the purpose of RT? And I'm going to throw to the MAC the suggestion that the gold line right now with the low floor vehicles should be switched with the blue line as being where the low floor vehicles should be utilized until we get 66 vehicles. That will be my public comment for today.
Okay, thank you very much. So I will respond just briefly. The purposes of RT are pretty broad, in providing public transportation in this area. The purposes, and obviously a question like that is to some degree open-ended, and so there could be a lot of debate on exactly what the purposes of RT are. But also the purposes of the MAC are set forth in our governing bylaws. They're among others, they're a link to the community. They're to educate the staff and the board and advise. So we have a number of purposes, and we can always go through them at some point in time. So I'll leave it at that. Okay. Anyone else, members of the public on Zoom with public comment? All right. Hearing none, we will go on to item 5, which is the chair's report. And the first item is website accessibility updates. So shortly after the executive committee met, Priscilla and myself and a gentleman from the community who had concerns, Ken Scott, we met with representatives from Exemplify to see if we could address some of the concerns that Mr. Scott had brought up. It was a very productive meeting, very, candid and honest about some of the concerns that he had. I think generally the concerns fell into 2 areas. there were some things that and I think even Exemplify representatives agreed that needed to be handled a little better by Exemplify and corrected. And then and they had committed to looking at some of those things and seeing what changes they needed to make to address them. And then there were some even deeper concerns that once we really got into it, didn't necessarily reflect problems that were created by Exemplify or that were not solved, but they were really concerns that reflected the visual nature of the elements that the website had, and that they're going to like mapping and things like that, and that required really a deeper look by by Exemplify to see if there are ways, if there are some workarounds that they could do to solve some of these issues. And I don't think that enough exploration had been done. So Exemplify is going to come back to us when they've had a chance to look at some of these things. I guess I'd ask Priscilla if that seems to be an accurate statement of how the meeting went. I thought it was very productive, though, basically.
Yeah, it was. And we are working with Exemplify, our website accessibility vendor, if you will, to go through a number of tests, accessibility checker type tests, which is internal and external efforts are underway. So it's not just, Exemplify running those accessibility checks. And we're going to be getting some sort of final report from Exemplify within the next couple of weeks that then I can share with certainly the individual, Mr. Scott, and with Gene and Jeff, and I'll have some sort of update to give to the full MAC. So we just want to make sure that the screen reading capabilities are intact and available so that people have equal access when using the website. So that was the concern that was raised, and we're doing our very best to make sure that it's much improved.
Yeah, I think that Ken Scott was, pleased with the attention that we were giving his concerns. And from my perspective, it wasn't the type of meeting that we would have had a few years ago with the former vendor who, really didn't, I don't know, said that they didn't care, but they didn't know enough. Exemplify, their representatives were clearly concerned about making these things right, from my perspective. So I don't know if there's any comments from commission members about this report. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, maybe we talked about this last time and I forgot, but I didn't remember this topic. But do they just do blind people's issues, or can they do things like Dragon? Because I tried to use Dragon on the website and I wasn't successful.
No, accessibility is as broadly based as it needs to be. So, send an email to or call, talk to Priscilla, and we'll, kick these issues up, because we, certainly those are issues, and if they can be remedied, they need to be.
So let me try one more time so to make sure that it's not my mistake, and then I'll call and talk to Priscilla.
Okay, that'd be great, Melissa.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. And any members of the public on the report I gave?
This is
and MAC members on Zoom as well. MAC members on Zoom. I didn't specifically ask for that.
This is Jeff, and dealing with the RT app. It will be wonderful when it becomes rider friendly. I love using the Green Transit app because even when the state fair was going on, it showed 67 and 68 going in and out, and you had some type of timetable, which you don't have with regional transit, even though you're supplying the information. That's my comment back through there, and wondering what other availability will be on the mobile app. And you do note that you're supposed to be putting these together, and clearly you still have issues that need to be resolved.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any MAC members on Zoom with comments on the website update that I just gave? All right, hearing none, we will go on to and this is for Priscilla, SAC-RTGO recertification application and process.
Okay, this one was asked of me by the executive committee, so I wanted to give an update at this meeting. A couple, probably close to 3 years ago now, we went through and made edits to the and created a renewal application that was separate from the way in which we used to do renewals, which was we used the full application. And that was really too much for someone that's going through a recertification. They don't need to fill out the full application. So we worked together with MAC and developed a new recertification application, and it's much more abbreviated. So that is where we're at right at the moment, and that recertification application is also available where you could complete it. It's not on our website because it's really for folks that are going through a recert. We provide it to folks in a link so they can actually fill it out in that manner. We make it available through our monthly renewal process of sending the letter and any kind of notification, whether it's, we always send everything hard copy, but if there's an email, we'll send it by way email to the app writer as well to inform them that their eligibility is going to be expiring in the next 2 months. So there's ways in which we notify folks that their eligibility is coming up for renewal or recertification. The questions that were developed in the renewal application, we developed as a group. I'm not sure if folks want to, access that to see, but that was something that we worked on together. So it was approved through this process of MAC actually, assisting staff in developing those questions and then finalizing the document. But what I also wanted to add that's fairly new is an assembly bill that it's Assembly Bill 1250, which does it does pertain to recertification, and specifically the changes that need to be implemented by January of 2027 are that we would not impose recertification before a 5-year term. So it would be like a 5-year term that we would give to individuals that would go through a recertification. And what is also of great importance and interest is the fact that, and we've talked about this as a group as well, that there are people with disabilities where the condition or conditions that they have may not ever improve. So we've been talking about ways in which to address not necessarily putting someone even through a recertification if they have a particular disability that is not intended to be improved upon, whereas it would be like a permanent eligibility and you wouldn't go through a recertification at all. That's not where we're at this point, but we are moving forward way before January 27 with the 5-year term. We had been giving staggered terms like 3-year, 4-year, 5-year. And now, based on that Assembly bill and where we're headed, I think it's something certainly to embrace and implement sooner rather than later, so that it's less burdensome on the individual writer. So that's what I have on the recertification process. And I'll just open it up for any questions.
Okay, thank you. So the only thing I'd add before I open it up for questions is that we'll know within about another month and a half whether that bill will pass or not. So, okay, questions of anybody. First, let's start with MAC members on Zoom.
Pam?
None?
No, he said
Okay.
Pam.
Oh, Pam, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I had a mute thing. I think that the 5-year issue for people who don't really have changes is a great idea. What a hassle for them if it's just a formality, not to mention easier on staff time and so forth. That would be, I would think, an improvement if I'm understanding it correctly.
Yeah, I'm proud to say that my own organization, the California Council of the Blind, is a sponsor of that bill, and we agree with you, Pam.
Oh, congratulations. Great idea.
Anyone else? On Zoom, yeah, sorry. Priscilla's here to straighten me out. That's right. Anybody in the room?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
The question is, and it's on an issue you said that you're not working on yet, that is people with permanent disabilities, maybe not having to go through research. And I guess my only concern on that issue is that person may not be around anymore.
No, at least under this bill anyway, people with permanent disabilities would still have that 5-year recertification. It would be a limited recertification. There'd only be specified questions that could be answered. But yeah, other people, if you had a temporary disability, then the district would not be, would be allowed to do it sooner if they so chose.
Okay, I was just confused. So that's part of the bill then, is that everyone does have to go through a recertification at least every 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct.
That's really what the bill is about. The permanency piece of it has to do with, a lot of agencies have permanent eligibility, which means you don't go through any kind of recertification.
Right.
And, it's for certain disabilities that aren't going to improve. One of the disabilities is blindness. So, and so it wouldn't require that they would go through any kind of recertification. I think what your question was, well, what if they're not here anymore, or?
Right. If they'd moved out of the area or had died or something like that.
We usually get some sort of information about that, but then they would just be considered inactive.
Oh, okay.
After so much time.
That's my only concern
Yeah.
there. Mhm.
All right. Other questions?
See anybody in the room?
Okay. Members of the public, we'll start in the room.
No.
Nothing? How about on Zoom?
This is Jeff, and I have asked it before for dealing with the recertifying for access service in Los Angeles, and that occurs on an annual basis. It's just a separate matter, but it is where we do that for other, and I've at time had YOLO recertify me so I can use YOLO's transportation services.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That would be visitor though, Jeff. You can use those services in LA as a visitor and the same in YOLO.
What I'm saying to you is on the access for LA, I have it where for annual recertification.
Okay.
14 days, which is what I typically see happening for recertifying other areas.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Anyone else?
A question.
Okay.
Don't we have the capability to share the certification in Sacramento with other organizations outside of Sacramento so that they don't have to, you can port it to the organization, like maybe 1 or 2 weeks before they visit?
So you are bringing up a very interesting question, and it's far more complicated than I ever would have thought. Um, Different jurisdictions have different, to some degree, different qualifications, different standards. Their database, there's not one single database that exists for all this. I think in the Bay Area they do share some data, but most places don't. In the ideal world, the answer to your question would be yes. But in the world in which we live, the answer to your question is not at this particular time, and nor do I think it's going to happen in the near term. But I think it's a goal that a lot of public transit advocates would like to see.
I have a question, which is what
Ed,
Helen was asking, but now I'm not sure. I thought that I've already been certified with Sacramento, for example. If I go somewhere else for 2 weeks on vacation, whether it be Florida or anywhere else, the fact that I'm certified here in Sacramento gives me the right to use their service for a short period of time without having to be certified over there. Isn't that true?
Yes, that's true.
That's
but only for visitor status. So it's a limited status.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but she's visiting. So when you're a visitor, you have the ability to use that paratransit service. No, it's 21 days. Yeah, that's okay. But I can share the visitor information with the MAC members just so they understand it.
That's what I thought. It was confusing me when you said no, and I just wanted to make sure that was true.
Any other questions?
Pam?
Pam, go ahead.
Well, Helen, this sounds like a good topic for TC&P. Maybe we could get some more information on what is. I'm thinking if someone has to go to another area, say for a specialized treatment, that's going to be more than 21 days, that there should be a statewide oversight or something, I would think. But can we get some information on what's actually in place? Because obviously from the questions, we all have different assumptions of how this is, unless we're actually doing that change.
I can share some information, Pam. It's all based on what is in the regulations. So if you're going to be somewhere longer than 21 days in a calendar year, then you would apply for the service. But I can share some information related to the requirements. I don't know if we need a meeting for that maybe first share the information and see if people understand from what is being shared, whether or not a TCP meeting would need to be necessary. But I'll get some information out to the MAC members.
Will you bring another question up in my mind? How do people who are new to being certified get information on things like that?
You call and ask.
Well, again, our rider's guide is one source, but certainly you can Google it if you're wanting to travel as a person with a disability. You don't even have to have ADA paratransit eligibility to travel as a visitor. So it's just a matter of maybe doing a little bit of research because, there's a lot out there if you wanted to travel to be a visitor somewhere else and you're a person with a disability.
Sounds very complicated. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
I think it should be standardized, at least for one state.
Well, there are many that would disagree with you, but I think there are some hurdles to cross in this. Okay. Anyone else? Any members of the public on this? Last chance.
Margie?
Yes. All right. We were going to move on, and we will go to old business. Item A under old business is being tabled, the comprehensive operational analysis, and that is being tabled until the next meeting. So we will go on to item B, which is the Watton I-80 project update, and Jenny Nilo, who is Principal Civil Engineer, who's on Zoom. So Jenny, it's all yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm actually really excited that I got this opportunity to share the updates for Watt I-80. We've got a lot of progress, and we are just about to get, what just happened? Oh, am I allowed to share or not?
Yeah, Austin needs to
Turn it on.
allow you to
You can share now.
Okay, so for Watt I-80, just a quick update. This is the Watt I-80 Transit Center Improvement Project. This is going to do several things. We are going to reconfigure the on-ramps both to the north and to the south of the transit center. And it kind of 90 degrees, the intersections, and it's to increase pedestrian safety. So that's part of the scope. We're widening Watt Avenue structure so that we have wider sidewalks and bus plazas up on Watt Avenue. And then we are realigning the bus road down at the light rail station level to allow for a new plaza, which we have new stairs that will lead from Watt Avenue up top down into the plaza to connect to the light rail station. That will be an open stair structure so that there's nowhere for hiding or you have a full visibility to increase safety. We will be replacing the stairs on both sides of Watt Avenue, both the northbound and southbound directions that will connect down to the light rail station level. There'll be additional lighting and fencing in the area. And then there'll also be an updated operator restroom and break room, which the public won't see, but it's much overdue. Oh, are you guys not seeing? Am I not sharing?
No, we weren't seeing it, but
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay,
it's
well,
all right.
I'm
You
just
could describe it with a
describing
forest around it.
everything. Yes.
Yeah.
So there are 6 different stages. And the first stage has been completed, and that was to realign the bus path down at the light rail level so that it allowed for the plaza for where the new stairs will land to connect on the west side of Watt Avenue. We are in the middle of stage 2, which is under construction now and should be completed by October. And this is the plaza where the stairs will land, the new stairs on the west side will land so that they can connect to the light rail station. Stage 3 is the median down Watt Avenue. So with the widening of Watt, we had to realign the median down the middle of Watt Avenue and there's going to be a decorative metal fence on top to keep people from trying to cross Watt Avenue. It's very high speed through there. Not that the posted speed limit is high, but people drive really fast down Watt Avenue. So they have completed placing the new median location, and they're currently completing, actually I drove by there today, they're putting the fence posts in for the median fence. It looks really good. They're putting the panels up, but they're completing the islands and the crash barriers that are going to be on either end of the median that goes down Watt Avenue. Now, stage 4A is that new staircase on the west side of Watt Avenue and all of the new sidewalk on the west side of Watt Avenue and the new bus plaza, which includes new decorative metal fencing all along the Watt I-80 structure. And it looks really nice compared to the existing fence, or the previous fencing was just chain link. This decorative metal fencing looks very nice. And the stairs are a straight set of stairs that lead down to the new plaza. Now, this construction is being completed, and this is why it was kind of a great time for me to come and present to you, because stage 4A, which is the west side, as soon as that's done being completed, we are going to be switching over to the east side. This means we will be activating the elevator and putting the new stairs in on the west side back into use by customers. And we're going to be shutting down the east side so that we can demo the old stairs and build the new stairs and connect to the new plaza underneath Watt Avenue. So currently the schedule is for the end of September. We're still working with the contractor to finalize that exact date. But when that switchover happens from west side to east side, the bus stops for the southbound on Watt Avenue will be reopened on the bridge. So we will have our new bus stops. They just put in the new bus shelters Monday night. They look really good. So the new bus stops for southbound will be back open. The northbound buses those bus stops up on the bridge will be closed during construction of stage 4B, and the temporary bus stop will be in front of Wendy's further south, just across from where the temporary bus stop is now for the southbound direction. And marketing has done a great job of posting information on the website, and they will continue to roll out information as we get a specific date lined up for that, because I know it's going to be a very big deal, and it's going to be a lot of transition for those that use that transit center. The stage 5, which was the ramp on the south side of the transit center, and that was the on-ramp to Auburn Boulevard, which was to modify the geometry of the intersection for pedestrian safety. That has been completed. So the last stage, which is expected to start in September, is the on-ramp onto westbound I-80, which is north of the transit center. That one will begin construction in September, and that again is going to be modifying that geometry for pedestrian safety. And all of this project is expected to be, the 4B is going to take some time. We are expected to have that east side back open by summer of next year. So it's very exciting. They've made great progress. Luckily, we have a good contractor and a great construction manager that is supporting this. It's actually been a difficult project because we have to have both county and Caltrans approve all of the work and submittals and staging that we have for this. So it's been quite a coordination effort. And I actually, Desi Lopez, assistant engineer for the engineering and construction department, is also on this call, and he has been an integral part of processing invoices and making sure that this project runs smoothly. So thank you for your time. I'll be excited to present when the east side is also complete. And we can open the entire transit center, open both sides, and the entire transit center is complete. I think it's going to be
okay. Do you have time for questions?
Improvement.
Pam?
Do you have time for questions, Jenny?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, great. Thank you for the excellent report, by the way. Pam, you were first.
I must have missed something, because if you're shutting down the east side and you're having the stairs are in place by then, how do people get down there who can't use stairs?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yes. So let me back that up. Okay, so currently we have the west side closed. The west stairs and the west elevator have been shut down while we completed all of that work, because there's no access, there was no sidewalk. We had to re-pour all of the sidewalk. So we had shut all of that down. And everybody, if you wanted to connect, if you need to connect between the light rail station and up on Watt Avenue, you have to use the east side currently. And you use the east elevator or the east stairs. So basically we are swapping sides. We'll be shutting down the elevator and the stairs for the northbound side, the east side, but we will be opening the elevator and the stairs on the west side for all access between the levels.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry,
Right. Anyone
I
else
should have been
in Zoom?
clearer on that.
Sorry. Anyone else in Zoom? MAC members? Okay, hearing none. Gene?
I have several questions. First thing, at the intersections, last time you met with the access infrastructure, you said that there was going to be accessible pedestrian signals installed. And since Caltrans is involved in this thing, is it the touch-free accessible pedestrian signals that Caltrans is putting throughout the areas that they operate or own?
I don't believe it's touch-free. I'm not familiar with that. That was not, I think it's more of, it's county maintains and operates these intersections. So it's probably per county standard, not Caltrans.
Okay, unfortunately. Then the focusing on the stairs, the stairs right now on the west side bring you to the tracks and the detectable warnings within a very short distance. And you mentioned that there's going to be the new stairs, and then that's going to go into a new area. I forget what you called it.
Oh, plaza.
Plaza. And I guess the question is it going to be much further away from the tracks?
It'll actually it'll be closer to the platform amenities. It'll be, it's just kind of parallel offset from the track. So it might be when you're measuring from the tracks, perpendicular from the tracks, it might be a little bit further, but actually the landing will be closer to the platform itself, as far as the amenities, the ticket vending machines and shelters.
Okay, we wanted to find out, we had recommended what has been done in the past on the platforms to have the bar tile, the directional guidance tiles that take you from the stairs to the boarding platform. Those have been used to take you from the boarding platform to the fare vending machines. So are we going to have our yellow detectable warnings to ensure that we are being directed to the actual detectable warnings where the tracks are?
So the Transit Center Improvement Project currently does not incorporate those detectable tiles, but we can definitely look into that.
We really want those bar tiles.
Okay.
That's something for a long time. And I guess the last question the subcommittee had asked for is that the stair striping on those steps be yellow.
They are.
And now, is this the glowing yellow-green, or do we get the orange-yellow that's like the detectable warning color?
This is the yellow. So we had gone back and forth, remember, on the submittals, and we had looked at the different types of, and this is the yellow that the stair nosing company provides. I don't know the exact name of the color, but when we talked about this previously and reviewed those submittals, this was the manufacturer that provided a yellow
yellow-green
stair nosing.
Okay, and these are the ones that glow, then I take it.
I haven't seen them up close yet because they just poured those steps. And I can't get close enough because they're pouring the base of them right now.
Okay,
They've
well,
been covered to protect them.
I'm hoping that they're the yellow orange because people with low vision see that shade of yellow much better than the yellow green color. That green is not a color that a lot of people see, particularly those that too have an additional color blindness. And green is not one of those. So, okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions in the room from MAC members?
I have one. This is Helen.
Go ahead.
I'm not very good at using the website. So I need step-by-step instructions on how to get from the opening page to where they have the What I-80 construction details. I don't know who to ask or how to get to it. So whoever can answer that question, please contact me. Thank you.
Is that something that you can look up Priscilla and talk to her about after sometime, or what's?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
You can send me an email, Priscilla, if you like.
And I know marketing is going to also roll out a lot of information and all media and different formats to make sure everybody's aware of this changeover from the west side to east side.
Gene?
Okay. First, anyone else? Okay. Gene, go ahead.
Yeah, the stairs. The risers, not the treads, the risers, are those closed and are they concrete also?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Okay, members of the public, let's start in the room. Anything in the room? Anything on Zoom?
This is Jeff. Congratulations. Thank you for getting I-80. It's been sorely in need of it. If I come on the blue line and get off there, how accessible with a wheelchair is it going to be? Is my understanding now of the switch over from that point to getting to Wendy's, if I wanted to connect with the, I believe, 19 bus line? Does that make sense?
Are you asking me?
I think so.
Okay, so the path currently that they're showing is you would use the elevator on the west side. You'd go up to Watt I-80. You would travel south down to the next intersection where they have the crosswalk, and then be able to cross over and then go up the east side to access the bus stop at Wendy's.
When is that ready now, or is it going to be ready September 1st?
This isn't changing until the west side opens up and the east side closes for construction. But that is scheduled right now to be the end of September. So we don't have a specific date yet. We're still working on that with the contractor to finalize the stairs and plaza so we can get that open to the public.
Okay, we're ahead. All right.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else on Zoom? Okay. Well, thank you again for that excellent report, Jenny, and we certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. So we are now on item C, the S700 LRV post-launch update. We have Vincent Beatty and George Curbison, and I don't know who's presenting, but gentlemen, take it away.
So quick update for you all. We have been moving pretty aggressively over the last month. We've got car number 26 that we're just finished up burn-in on it, and we are actually prepping that car to be conditionally accepted probably the beginning of next week. We're getting all the documentation finalized now, and we're going to do our conditional inspection tomorrow morning. We should have that car ready for a CPUC review early next week so we can get that in service. We have cars 23, 24, and 25 that are currently under CPUC review for acceptance there, so we can get those 3. So likely in the next week or so, we should have 4 additional cars out there for service. That'll help us reduce some of the mileage that we're running. We're actually approaching 100,000 miles on some of the first cars that we put into service. So it's quite a bit considering what we normally run. Our normal average is about 40 to 45,000 miles per car. But because the same cars are running that route every day, we're really stacking miles on them pretty well. So we are in the midst of implementing the field modification to move the speaker for the door and ramp down to a 3-foot level, as we had in a previous amendment. And that work has begun. We did get the approval from the board to do a GM delegation for the Amendment 11 that addresses the software for the ramp deployment and train lining of some of the sounds related to the gong. And then we have a momentary button for the PA announcements that'll help alleviate the announcements being locked in a manual mode, and it'll allow them to, it'll be a momentary switch to allow it to go back in automatic mode. We did the latest revision that we did to the automatic announcement software has been successful. The complaints that we've had related to announcements timing or being off step, I haven't had any in the last couple of weeks, actually. So that's a good progress report there. And then we are expecting delivery of car number 429 next Wednesday morning. That will be the first vehicle of the next batch of vehicles and it'll be the first vehicle that'll be coming in that has the external mirrors for the operators. So you'll see a slight difference in the vehicle cabs. We still have the updated monitors, upgraded monitors that are part of Amendment 11 that we're getting the equipment ordered so that we can get those upgraded. But we also are installing the rear view mirrors similar to our legacy fleet. And then I think that's pretty much all the updates that we have right now. Any questions?
Hey, MAC members in Zoom first. Okay, don't hear anything.
Gene?
Okay, yeah, MAC members in the room.
Yeah.
Gene, go ahead.
We'd heard a few comments, and it's, I guess, operational, but where some of the low floor were not stopping at the prescribed location. And I just, that is anecdotally I've heard, and I think it was mentioned here in one of our meetings there. Is there anything that, other than operational, is there anything physically that can be done for the vehicles to stop in the software, maybe in something that is at the platform that would send a message to the train, don't go beyond here while you're waiting for the arrival of passengers?
So unfortunately, Gene, we don't have an automatic train control system that would allow that to be programmed in there. We run a manual system currently. We do, however, have landmarks that are reflectors or poles that are installed in the stations that are a landmark for the operators to gauge where they are in the station platform area so that they align with the ramp locations. So again, it's more of an operational thing, training with the operators. And that's how we would address that, is by referring them to be looking for the landmarks to make sure that they've got the cabs aligned properly. Oh, Vince has actually got some he can add to that too.
So these stop markers for the S700s in the stations were approved by the PUC. We went through a lot to get them approved. The stop markers are just like the legacy fleet stopping at the ramp. There's a precise place that the operator needs to stop, even at the mini high ramp, to line up the ramp for the mini, the bridge for the mini high. It's the same thing for these S700 markers. The operator just needs to line their window up with that marker. We've placed it back on the operating bulletin. We've placed notices in the driver's room. We're having our supervisors out there making sure that they're lining the train up at the proper spot. It's basically operator training. It's no different than the legacy fleet, how they stop at the mini high ramp.
Okay, great. And then one other question. It's a totally different thing. And thank you, Vince, for that. At some time when before we had talked about the having some kind of system, preferably on the vehicles between the cars, so that no one could end up going between the cars where the couplers are. And we had been told we're going to look into that. And that was especially after an event where somebody unfortunately did that and lost their life. I was wondering, is that been given any additional thought other than intrigued by it, but coming up with a proposal for doing something like that on the newer cars?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Short answer to that is yes. We have looked actually at a couple of different measures. Once we abandon the legacy fleet, once we've retired the legacy fleet, what we're really looking to do is place something in the station platforms themselves to be a barrier where the cars would align, regardless of how many cars are in the consist, that there would be a physical barrier in the station, like some type of a bollard to not allow somebody to enter that envelope in between the cars. It's a lot more secure than things that we've seen other agencies place on the vehicles. Muni, for instance, uses like an inertial belt system similar to what you have at a queue at the bank or the grocery store, pharmacy, whatever. Not really the most secure. If somebody were to fall into that, that's not going to prevent them from getting in between the cars. But the bollards in the stations would. They're a lot more secure. The only drawback that we have is right now, while we're running the legacy fleet, because of the differences in the length of the vehicles and the placement of the ramps on the vehicles, they don't congeal together with both fleets running in the same area. So once we do abandon the legacy fleet, we will be looking to put something like that into the stations.
Okay, that's similar to what they do down the LAMTA. So
yes,
I'd be interested in doing that. And then getting the report and seeing what your options are for the bollards so that they stand out.
Yeah.
That's a big concern.
Yeah. And then obviously with the detectable tiles around them, there would be a differentiation for folks that are visually impaired to be able to identify that area as well.
Yeah. Just metallic colors are ones for a lot of low vision people. They have a difficult time seeing those, especially if even the matte ones, that just metallic colors don't always stand out. So
yeah,
thank you.
Yep.
All right. Anyone else in the room?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm still having issues. I've had to go up past the stop I wanted a couple of times last week because able-bodied people are cutting in front of me when I access the ramp to get off the train. And I heard somebody else complain about the same thing. So I thought that the computer software was already in place for that not to happen, but it's still happening, so I'm confused.
Right. No, so that right now, that's part of the Amendment 11 software update that we're making to the ramp programming. We are still in the process of getting that software written and implemented, but it will happen. That is part of what was brought to the board in our last board meeting. Right now, we've been trying to improve the number of, or increase the number of transit agents that we have to help in situations like that, so that folks that need the ramp can take priority within the cars.
Yeah, Mr. Birnbaum was very helpful with that this morning, but I just wanted to know if it had been addressed on a wider level.
Yeah, it's unfortunate right now because a lot of this is kind of educating the riding public aside from the MAC community, right? Because we obviously have a lot of outreach with you and monthly interactions. Some of our other patrons, unfortunately, don't get that and tend to take a priority upon themselves rather than honoring the way that the system's designed to allow ADA passengers to have that area as a priority and to allow them to operate the ramp prior to them exiting the vehicles as well.
I realize it's a learning process, and I appreciate everything you guys are doing. So thank you.
You're welcome. And that will be, Melissa, that will be corrected with that software update because it will force the ramp to have to deploy before the operator can clear the doors to leave the station.
Yay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anyone else in the room, MAC members? Okay, anybody on Zoom, MAC members? Okay. Members of the public in the room?
We have one individual here, Jeff.
Go right ahead.
Thank you for the presentation. An item that was brought before the board at its last meeting had to do with egress from the vehicles, not from the ADA door, but from the other doors where the yellow poles are kind of in the middle. I understand the poles are there to theoretically help standing passengers. Right now, we very rarely have many standing passengers, but there is a problem with egress that people have identified, whether people have strollers or carts or bicycles, and then the people coming down the stairs from the ends of the vehicle. It really clogs up that area. And some of the mobility access community members who spoke at the board meeting asked if SAC-RT could either remove those poles from the existing cars and or request that Siemens stop installing those poles on the cars that are to be delivered, because the same type of cars that are being sent down to San Diego, for example, are not having those poles. So Siemens is able to provide the vehicles without the poles.
Want to answer that, Vince? Yeah, no, we appreciate the comment, and we've gone back and forth. The reason behind that stanchion being in place where it is to allow folks that need help egressing the high floor section of the vehicle to have a handhold for a 3-point stabilization exiting that high floor area. Other agencies that didn't have that stanchion had experiences where individuals had fallen and been severely injured because of hitting the floor from that 12-inch or 14-inch step down onto the vehicle. So we've taken a lot of that into consideration, but it is there for a safety reason as well as a handhold for standing passengers too.
And we also did a lot of outreach, including the MAC, when it came to that stanchion pole, and it was determined for that pole to stay with all of the outreach that we did. So.
Thank you. All right, members of the public on Zoom.
Well, this is Jeff again, and have we figured out what that glitch is when the, should we say, doors open, but and you've pressed the button and the platform does not eject? And is it only at the the county administration building where we have the glitch of the length coming down in an inappropriate fashion, not meeting the 8 inches for the platform.
Yes, Jeff, you're correct. So it has to do with the anchors that are used on the detectable warning tiles. And our facilities department has been working to correct that with the vendor that installed them, with engineering as well. But that is the problem. That the ramp is designed to run on it's a current draw, and when it senses an obstruction, the current increases, and that's what trips the fault, and the ramp will stall rather than trying to drive through something. And that's what we found to be the cause at those 2 locations.
I'm speaking, sorry, about the other one where just simply you press the button from the inside and the doors open, but the ramp does not deploy. Have we corrected that glitch?
I don't think we've.
First
I
car,
know that
the operator car, this happens on the second car.
Okay, I don't have to look into that one, Jeff, because as far as I know, everything that we've had related to the ramp not opening had to do with the ramp driving into the anchors for the DWT. We've tested the ramps several times in different situations, and each time the ramp will open when it's commanded from inside the vehicle or outside the vehicle. The only time that we've had issue where a ramp has not deployed when it's been requested from the outside of the vehicle is when an operator has canceled the doors prior to that ramp cycle taking place, which is going to be eliminated with that new software revision.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Anyone else on Zoom?
To me too.
Margie?
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on.
That happens to me too, but it's only happened twice. And I think it's because it only happens when I use the yellow strip that's on the bottom of some of the seats. If I go and press the button, it's never happened so far. So I think I'm not strong enough to engage that yellow thing.
It could be because it's just a simple dielectric switch. You do have to put a little bit of effort into it, but at any rate, regardless of what method you select the ramp, the new revision automatically takes priority and will force the ramp to have to deploy before anything else can occur with the LRV.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, Margie. Is she muted potentially?
Margie, you may be muted.
I think Margie's having some audio issues. She's had some questions and I don't believe we received them. And we couldn't hear her throughout the meeting, so.
She might need, does she need a permission to unmute? She shouldn't. Nobody else does.
And she can always email them in and you can forward them.
Yeah, we can always take on your questions, post meeting. And if you do manage to unmute, just let me know. Yeah, in some instances you need permission to unmute, but we're not doing the webinar, so that shouldn't be the issue. It shouldn't. I'm not saying it isn't, because you never know with Zoom.
Austin, are we able, everyone else is able to speak when their audio is set for them?
Marjorie's not muted on our end.
She's not muted on our end. Is she saying Austin has to give the request for a new? I don't know what that means.
No.
Well, that's if we were in webinar, which we're not, that would make sense. But since we're not, that shouldn't be the problem, but yeah, Margie, you may have to, you can call Priscilla or email in or whatever, because I don't know how we can solve it at this point, unfortunately. Either that or you go off and come back on and see if that works. Sometimes it does. And we will certainly take your questions when you, if you do manage to get through. Okay, I believe that's it. Don't think anybody else has questions on that.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Our next item of business is the SACRT Go fourth quarter update. Alberta Dionda, and I don't know if anybody else is going to present with you or not, but I'll turn it over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Hello.
I've been advised not to talk so much. That's going to be a problem. So I'm going to give you the numbers for April, May, and June for our ridership and for our on-time performance. For April, for our passenger trips, we had 25,278. UServe had 7,461. Total ridership was 32,739. For May, 25,853 for SACRT Go, 7,557 for UServe, 33,410 combined. For June, it was 24,789. UServe, 7,929. Combined ridership was 32,718. The OTP for April for SACRT Go was 64%. UServe 99%, combined 82%. For May, it was 70% for SACRT Go, 99% for UServe, 85% combined. And for June, it was 81% for SACRT Go, 99% for UServe. Overall combined OTP was 90%. I'm happy to say that those numbers, if you're looking at them comparatively to what it was before, I wasn't here, but they are in line, getting better every month. Actually, it's 1% better. Feels like that also.
Okay, are we ready for questions now, or do you have more?
Nope, we're ready for questions.
Okay, thank you. So I will ask the first one. First, I'm glad to see that the on-time performance was going up for RTGO. That's good, and substantially up, actually. And not surprising, but I'm really happy to hear that. My only question is that I was a little surprised that the number of rides for the RT Go part were going down in May and June. To what do you attribute that? The other rides for users stayed almost the same. They went up just a tad, but what do you know what to attribute the decrease in rides in May and June?
I do not. That's a good question.
All right, well, maybe next time somebody can come up with a theoretical, hopeful answer.
I would, we can.
All right, thank you. So questions in the room first from MAC members. Gene, go ahead.
I'm very pleased with the statistics, and especially with the SACRT Go increasing. This is kind of off, but I'm trying, I don't know, it's been explained and I still have a problem understanding. With the use serve, if they were, if they arrive 5 minutes or so, let's just say 5 minutes prior to time, uh, I guess it'd be better just tell my thing. Tried it today. I got a youth serve ride, a great driver, and I had made a reservation for 1:15. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't get a message this time for that the driver was told 1:30, but he arrived somewhere between 20 and 25 minutes after, and he said, "I can't go until 1:30." Since I'm ready and it's not a shared ride, I don't understand why the driver has to wait time there where they could just get on and perhaps pick up another person if there's somebody that is needing a ride in the system. That's my first question.
That question I would be able to answer for bus. I think Blanca wants to answer that for you, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead. I think there might be a little bit of
for you, sir, Blanca, I'm sorry, Blanca, BP Operations. You mentioned, just to make sure I got it right, you said your ready time was, what was your ready?
When I made the ready time 1:15,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a message that said any change there. That's okay. I was out there at 1 o'clock waiting, and the driver got there something like 1:25.
Okay.
Okay. And driver said, I was told to pick you up at 1:30, but we can't leave until then. I'm supposed to wait until that time. And it's like, it's not a shared ride. So why does the driver have to wait?
We would have to check back with you, sir. I know that your ready time, we do want them to not, because we get kind of half of passengers saying they're okay to get approached before the ready time, and then we have passengers that don't want to be approached until the ready time. So we do ask everybody to not make contact until at least your ready time. But you're mentioning something that's past your ready time, so I need to go back and we need to go back and check with USERV because they should be able to go on your
Apparently,
ready
the
time.
driver was told 1:30.
Yeah.
I'm not having an issue about that. When I set up the reservation and I was told 1:15, it would have been within my 30-minute window.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue at all.
Yeah.
My
No,
thing is,
it
okay, the
makes
driver got there, and I understand passenger is not supposed to be pressed to leave early or anything like that. But if the passenger, like I was waiting there at 1 o'clock outside by the curb, so I don't understand if I'm ready and say, okay, I'm ready to go. The driver's there. Why wait 5 minutes just to go ahead and go? It's not like there's a shared ride.
No, it doesn't make sense. I would have to go back and check exact, because even the time he's saying to you is conflicting. So Eugene, so I'm gonna.
And I don't have a complaint about the driver.
Yeah, no, and we won't complain about the driver. We would just trying to check to see exactly what the message is to the driver. So we'll check with USERV itself and just say, what is the message that you're giving the drivers when, picking up. And I want to know where he got the 1:30 just to make sure that we're on the same page. So we can check on that for sure.
And Gene, it could have been that, and I don't know, my question would have been, why aren't you getting a message? But it could have been that they changed the ride time, Paratransit did, RT did, to 1:30. And so what you should have had is a message that said, your driver will be there at 1:30. But so that's possible too.
Yeah, and this time I didn't get the message, but other times, it's on and off. I'm getting the messages. So I don't know what's happening, but I'm not complaining. I just want to understand this, and this, like the whole thing where we can't leave early. I've had a few other in the past, not recently. The other question is, and this again, just in curiosity, is UServe starting to give more shared rides? At Saturday, I was at a meeting, and apparently two individuals that were not, they came from the meeting, but they weren't going to the same location. It was a shared ride. My understanding. So, and I was told by some other people that it doesn't happen often, but it does occur. And I was just wondering whether that is data that you're being reflected if you're doing a shared ride with UServe.
Actually, no, we don't get that information, which I would really, that would be something that I would be interested in knowing to see how much that is happening, just so we know. But because from them, we just get the list of trips. We know the list of trips, but we don't know the actual scheduling of it. So we can definitely ask them and see what we can get, and then maybe share that information with you guys in future meetings.
Yeah, that might even show, reflect a change in the ridership. So thank you. I'm finished, Jeff.
You're welcome, Eugene.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to, since George and Vince are still here, we have Margie able to speak now. And if I want you to just address your question on the 700 LRV update, whatever that your light rail question is. And if you had one on other items before that, go ahead as well.
Margie, you should be able to speak. You're not muted, Margie. Okay.
All right. Well, sorry about that. I appreciate the effort.
Perhaps she could try just calling in on a regular phone.
Yeah. Well, that's, okay. Anyone else in the room on RT Go update?
I do.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Okay, two questions. First question is, it's really great to see when you switched over to QRide software for RT Go 64%, and within 3 months you're back up to 81%. That really is terrific, and glad to see that. The question, however, is, what are your goals in terms of on-time performance for RT Go, and what are the current barriers in terms of reaching those goals, in terms of on-time performance?
Well, I would say obviously our goal is to get that number as best as we can. We do need to ensure that we take a really deep dive into the system of what else is doing. I know the other things now that we really want to focus on the quality of the service as well too. I know that we still have some issues that are still happening here and there with like door-to-door service. And then we want to take a look at those share rides to ensure, because we have seen some complaints here and there in regards to how long share rides are taking, because now we're seeing them more. I was actually driving down the freeway and saw a bus full of people, and I was like, oh my God, that's great to see that. But I also want to ensure that the quality right of the service, we're still maintaining that. So we haven't gotten down to really sit down, Charles, and see an exact number that we're saying this is going to be our goal. We need to do that. I think we were kind of waiting for everything to still settle down, and I feel like we're still kind of going through some of we're focusing on the application, the app, that we're still working on that, and then we're still trying to get all the reporting that we got you guys last time to be done by them.
Wonderful.
So that can give us the bigger picture, all the information, so then we can really sit down to see what's happening, and then we can set those goals. So I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly right now what it is. We could work on that as soon as we can get those reports up and get that information and sit down as a team to figure out what we want to see from this new change. But I do want to tell you, obviously, that will be something we'll work on, and then we want to focus on the quality of the service for you guys.
Okay. Do you have any barriers in terms of the number of vehicles and drivers that you can put on the road?
Obviously, ridership has been increasing, and with ridership increasing, we will need more vehicles and more buses. That will be something that we do need to take a look at, make sure that we're having enough staff for how much the service is growing. So yes, that will be an issue to ensure that we make sure that we take care of that, to get to those goals for the on-time performance and to ensure that we can keep up with the demand. And we are working on getting, actually right now we're working on a grant, on application to a grant to acquire new vehicles. So we are working on that, and then we'll take a look at the staffing levels that we have to compare it with the demand to ensure that we have enough staffing.
Right. And then that leads me to the final question on this question is operational funding. Do you have operational funding to increase the number of drivers and buses?
I would, right now we have the funding of what we have right now. That would be something that I would need to present over to our team at SACRT overall to ensure that we can get that funding. I don't have a straight answer for you. I know that we have the funding for now. We need to see the big picture, how much that's going to cost, and then go from there. So yeah, Charles.
Okay, well, thank you.
Great questions though. Thank you. You always get us to take notes and strive for better. So we appreciate that.
And one final thing is that after the wonderful presentation last month with those statistics, Jeff had asked for those to be given to MAC members, and either I missed it or anyway, could you get those to us?
Yes, I'm sorry.
We sent that to the MAC.
Okay,
so
I wasn't sure. Yeah.
Oh,
didn't we send those to the MAC, Austin? We sent we sent to everybody. You didn't get them? We can resend.
I don't recall
Okay.
them either.
Yeah. Really?
Probably were, but I don't.
I recall, I got it.
See, there you go. Pam's keeping us honest.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's resend to and Jeff
And Helen.
and Helen.
And okay, that's all for me. And it looks like Jeff or Gene has.
I was just
Anyone else? Gene, let's see if there's anyone else in the room first.
I have a quick question.
Okay, go ahead, Melissa.
I don't know how to say this right. So is your goal, are you trying to do as many share rides or as many individual rides? Ideal.
Efficiency will be, we want to be as efficient as possible. And that means that for some rides, when there's the possibility to do a share ride, we will make sure we do those share rides. We know that that's not always going to work out, but efficiency is having more people on the bus at once. That would be, efficiency will result in more share rides, but we understand that we want to make sure that we're also taking into consideration how those share rides are taking place, that they make sense, and that people are still getting to their appointments or their destinations on a timely manner.
Helen O'Connell.
Okay, Gene, go ahead.
My question was the data that was sent to us and it was attached. Can you tell me what format it was? Because I could not get my jaws to read it. The data to do with the paratransit on time that was provided, my jaws couldn't read it. It just
We typically send it in Word, Gene.
it wasn't in Word.
Well, we will. How about this? We're going to resend to the MAC member.
Or
What's that?
if it was it set up as like a table with columns, headings there?
Yeah,
I
some of
guess,
it.
okay,
Yeah.
well, then that's the reason,
That's what
because
you're talking-
tables,
Okay, we'll take
Table.
out the columns and resend it. So Austin, you know what we're referring to, right?
Right.
Okay, let's clean it up so that it's readable, and resend it to everybody.
Will do.
Thank you.
Helen O'Connell has a question.
Okay, Helen?
You say you have a better on-time performance. It's been my experience that the pickup time that is scheduled is within the window more often than not, which is a plus. However, when that happens, the delivery time is getting later and later. So if like I have a 8:30 pickup, you're within your half-hour window. But then it takes an hour and a half or longer for me to get to the appointed place. And a lot of people don't know that they need to schedule that long from their half-hour window to get somewhere. So consequently, I've been hearing that a lot of people are making, like an hour and 15 minutes in between the time that they're supposed to be picked up and dropped off. It's winding up to be more than an hour and a half, which is outside of the accepted time traveled on the bus at one time. So I don't know how your on-time performance might be measured on one side, but not how long the people are actually on the bus.
So
I don't know how to address
you remember on our last presentation, we did break it up to where we're looking at appointment time, and that is being it's calculated how much outside of the appointment time we're getting you to your appointment. We need to make sure that everybody understands that if you need to get to a place, they're using the appointment time rather than the requested ready time to be able to get you there. We will take a look to see, we're looking at both. We're looking at on-time performance for appointment times, and the others we're not. And we made sure that, because I know that there was an issue with Ecolane prior, I guess they weren't really calculating or giving us that information. I make sure that they broke it up and we were getting both, because it's important for both of them to be measured at the right way. So we are looking at that. I think another part of this is communication to all of our riders to understand that there is an expectation of more ride share so they can prepare better. And at the same time, we understand that we have to make sure that we're keeping an eye, to the point I said earlier, to make sure that we're looking at those share rides to ensure that they're making sense. And if we need to work with Q-Ride to put in some limitations or anything, that we're doing that. So that's what we're trying to take into attention right now to do what we need to do. So I think it's a little bit of a mixture of communication with people to understand that there's more share rides. At the same time, I do understand that we might be late certain times, and we will be looking at those trips to see what we can do better on those when it falls back on us.
Okay, well, I'm just concerned because if people are on the bus actually traveling around the city trying to get to their appointment, and they have so many share rides that they wind up on the bus for an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours before they get dropped off, isn't that breaking the ADA requirement that they be?
Can I interject for a second with that question, Helen? There's not like a set, everything is about how it's comparable to the fixed route when it comes to someone's transportation on paratransit. So it's not simply like an hour and a half for everyone that's on the vehicle getting from point A to B. And so that's part of it. It's there's more to it than just
put in
yeah. I mean, you have to look at how long would it take on a fixed route to get you from point A to B, and that's the comparability. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's really what we look at when we get complaints in regards to appointment time and we make it outside the appointment time. We go in to see how long it would have taken this person to get from point A to B using fixed route, and then we compare that to how long it took on our bus using paratransit service, and that number varies through wherever you live and depending on what service is around where you live and how long it takes you, distance and all that. So those are all of the things that we take a look at when those complaints come through or we see those late trips to ensure that it's reasonable.
Two things really quickly. One thing, the reason I asked my initial question is because I was on a ride, a couple weeks ago or so. I had made an appointment time for 1 o'clock. At 2:30, I called in to the RT dispatcher or the air transit dispatcher and said, "Hey, drop me. Can you please extend the time that I'm supposed to be picked up?" And they were very nice about doing it. They admitted it was their fault. So thank you for that. But that was the reason I asked the initial question, is because I was super late. Not just a little bit. I understand a little.
For your and it was an appointment time.
It was a 1 o'clock appointment. I didn't get
Okay.
until after 2:30.
Okay, yeah, obviously we're not saying that it's not happening. We're still getting late trips, and we'll, when those things happen, those are the ones. And we look into see if it was a scheduling issue. There's a number of things that could have happened that day that can contribute to any trips being late.
I handled it very appropriately in terms of he said, "What time do you want to be picked up?"
Yeah.
And he put it in for the time I asked. So thank you for that.
I'm glad we were able to assist
But,
on that.
So I wanted to give positive kudos
I
for
think
that.
I'm unmuted.
I sure.
Wow, you are. Okay,
All I needed was that invite to unmute. I'm on my mobile phone and I couldn't unmute. Now that I got the invite, I can unmute.
okay, so no RT Go questions for you yet, but you can do any other items that you have.
Well, I'm not going to take up a lot of time. I was going to ask a question about the stanchion, but I can find that out later. Just continue on.
Okay, so
For
let's
now.
go to Zoom for Mac members because I think everybody has had a chance in the room. So let's go to Zoom for Mac members. Okay, I don't hear any. So now, members of the public in the room. And we don't have that. So now we'll go to Zoom, and I'm going to go to Margie
Margie.
since she's been trying to do it for so long.
But I'll wait.
Thank you. I want to say about SAC RT Go that it is running so well, finally, up here in Folsom. And I'm very grateful for that. And I want to acknowledge the whole Go team on their help with me this summer in getting my granddaughter to and from the aquatic center. And as you know, Priscilla, I sent an email to Henry thanking him. That was just incredible. And I know you don't hear things like that very often, so I wanted to take this chance to say that as I'm getting out of the user to go to a doctor's appointment. But my service has been phenomenal. I'm hearing it from other people up here. Even the buses have been on time. And I think one of the biggest issues that we face around paratransit is that most passengers do not, and I'm talking not just in RT, outside of RT, who's everywhere, do not understand the window about the time you leave point A to get to time you point B. And I don't know if RT can do anything, hold a Zoom meeting or something to educate people. I know the handbook's there. I know people don't read handbooks. And I don't think that's covered in the handbook, but it's been a while. Now I'm going to be quiet.
All right, thank you. Okay, any other members of the public on Zoom?
My hand's raised.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So I did hear the app mentioned a couple of times, and it's not clear to me. Is the app tied to the same thing as the web developer, or is that separate? And is there any idea of a timeline of when the app might be ready to go?
Hi, Regina. This is Priscilla. The app is separate from anything related to our website. It's the app is a standalone app for the paratransit service, and we are working real hard with the with Q-Ride, and we hope to have that app released very soon, but I can't provide a date. There's a lot that's been going on to make sure that that app is in a good place before it's launched.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I'm being asked, so I said I'd ask again.
Okay, any other questions on Zoom? All right, last shot for Mac members with RT Go-ish questions. Okay, well, we are on to new business, of which there is none. So we will go to announcements and requests for information, as well as future agenda items. So Mac members in the room.
I just have a clarification question on how long it is legal for people to be on a paratransit bus to get from point A to point B. That's all I want.
Did you want to answer that?
Well,
You should, but
no, I mean, I answered earlier about the comparability. The paratransit is supposed to be comparable to our fixed route. So again, it varies depending on where that person's going, Helen, as to how long it would take for that trip to be performed on fixed route. So there's not one answer to the question. It'll vary depending on the particular trip.
I just want to know how long a person is allowed to be on a paratransit bus at one time.
so there is no
5 hours, 10 hours?
Well, there is no set length of time. Now, if you're going from Elk Grove to downtown and there's a bus that does that, and it would take you, say, 45 minutes to do it, but you get a ride that takes you out to Rancho Cordova and then brings you back to downtown and then takes you somewhere else, and then you go, wherever, and it takes you 2 hours, that's probably something you could complain about. So it's not a set thing, but that doesn't mean there aren't clear, or reasonably clear violations of what is acceptable. So it's not a easy answer, but that doesn't mean there isn't an answer.
Thank you. I'll just try to find other avenues to get a legal answer.
Jeff, I have a request for an update on FlexRide.
Okay. Should we put that on the next agenda?
Sounds good.
Okay. Anyone else? Go ahead.
I just have just a general question regarding paratransit. So if somebody has a disability that they're unhoused, are they still able to sign up for paratransit services? Other question.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone on Zoom? On announcements or requests for information, agenda item, etc. We seldom get to this item because we usually go.
Margie?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't hear anyone else on Zoom, so go ahead.
I'm going to attempt something here and we'll see how it goes. To answer Helen's question. And it's real simple. Helen, there's not a maximum time. It's based on the trip. And if you want to take the trip, route it out on fixed route from the time you left your door till you got to the bus stop, got on the bus, made transfers, all of that, till you get to your destination. That's how long they can keep you on the bus. So each trip would be different. Thank you.
All right. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good. I'm hanging in there, Mr. Hardy boy.